Let's get to it. Wow, that is some dramatic lighting. Welcome back to part 2, the big reveal of the project I've got going on here, removing all of this stuff and bringing the entryway to our industrial building renovation back to its original glory. Last week, we got all of this paneling here in the main foyer, and today we're continuing on with removing everything back behind me that you see there. So for you guys, it's last week. For me, it's the same day. But I've come across this wall that was added in later, and I do want all this paneling out, so I'm going to remove that, and then the stairway will be exposed. So that's on the agenda for today, and all of the rest of this, and then we'll be able to kind of stand back and look at something that hasn't been revealed for decades. So, and then there'll be a big reveal. So thanks for sticking with me on this journey, and let's get back to it. Okay, so that brings us to this hallway, and I'm kind of excited about this one because this is going to make a visual impact throughout this. You know, as you come in, this whole area is kind of the first impression for the building. So, and this is pretty sketchy stuff, all of it. So I want to start from the top down. And so the floating ceiling here is going to go first, and then I'll move on to the walls. I'm really hoping that I kind of uncover something I wasn't expecting. So it's always a nice little treat when that happens. So let's see what we got. All right, how do I do that? I'm a professional. Don't do this at home. I'm gonna have to get a ladder because lead paint chips have been. I'm gonna stop saying that. I don't know that this is lead paint. I need to get it tested. So let's say paint chips are basically an inch deep on top of each one of those floating floor panels there. So when I move them, try to pull them out, they just dump all down my back. So I'm gonna get a ladder and try to mitigate that as much as possible. Okay. So I'm up here, I just noticed this guy. And that is definitely desirable. So I'm gonna salvage that. That goes on top of the old porcelain enamel Benjamin gas station style lampshades that I have collected. And you don't see those nearly as often as you do the actual shades, so I'll be keeping that. Yeah. Okay, so I just realized something kind of neat. This whole wall is just it's just stick built. There's some wall studs here. And when I remove that, that's gonna totally open this up. So sadly, they cut out around this one. Horrible, but maybe I got so many projects. I think I could maybe chisel that out and plug it. That would be a real hard project for me as a beginner, but I think I could do that maybe. So, okay. What looked like a real simple project is turning into a bigger project. But the impact is going to be so much better, so. All right. But before I can do the wall, I've got to get this ceiling frame out of here. And we had run the Ethernet cables and stuff above this floating ceiling here. And so once I pull this out, that's going to be kind of hanging and dragging. And I can't do everything in one day, so that's going to have to all be rerouted. And I think I'll need some help with that because I want to actually do it the right way. And up here we did a better job. I don't know if you can see, it's zip tied all along there. So I want to do something similar here. But yeah, so those wires are just going to hang down. I can only do so much, right? Okay, starting to open up here, and we got a nice window up there, which is kind of a cool little thing. And yeah. Oh, I just unplugged my security cameras. Eek. Okay. I don't know how much setup that's going to take to get back up. Dang it. Okay, sorry about the harsh light, guys. So I'm really having a pretty intense internal dialogue with myself about this wall because I want to renovate this entire thing, but I also want to kind of renovate the entire ground floor first and do it in sections so that I have a realistic possible goal that I can accomplish. And if I can get the entire ground floor done, yeah, stages just makes it better. It just makes more sense to do it that way. Right now, we've got this door that goes to the stairs, and the function of that is that I can use that to close off the upper floors. So I think what I'm going to do, if I tear this wall out, I'm not going to have that. But I really hate all this paneling, so it's got to go. It's just got to go. So what I'm going to do is get rid of it. I just want it gone. And I think what I'll do is then I'll make this kind of a priority moving forward to get this blocked off in a different way. So that I can actually have the entire first floor blocked off. No access to the second floor for anybody that is not me, basically. I was thinking maybe some big iron posts and some chain link. That would be pretty awesome. But there may need to be a firewall here, which means I have to block it up. So that's a discussion for another day. But for now, onward and upward, I'm going to get this wall out of here. So, first things first, I got to get this door out here. It's just like, when I knock out the rest of the wall, it's just a big, heavy chunk of weight that's going to make it more of a headache. So door comes first. Wow. Okay. Oh, I want to cry. My grandpa had thick hair. I know that sounds like a really weird statement out of context. He had a really thick head of hair till the day he died in his 90s. And I think I inherited that from him. I got thick hair, and it just saved me because I did something you should never do. And that was leave a claw hammer on the top of the ladder. And I moved the ladder and that thing came off and just smashed me on the head. And if I didn't have this wool blanket on the top of my head, then I'd probably have a big open gash. Oh my gosh, that hurt bad. Okay. Most YouTube channels, I think they probably would edit that out and not reveal that had happened because it's really embarrassing. And yeah, but If you've been around the channel for very long at all, you know that I don't pretend to know stuff. But that is like so much common sense. Don't leave heavy stuff on the top of a ladder. All right. You know, the worst thing about it is that should teach me a lesson. But I know I'm going to end up doing that again. It's like when people tell me, hey, turn the light off when you leave the room. And I have every intention of doing that, and I would if I could. I mean, how can you blame me? I forgot. It's not, that's the thing about forgetting. It's not intentional. You can promise yourself that you're going to remember, but you forgot. So I'm getting loopy. It's been a long day already. Okay. That's not gonna work. Well, come back to that in just a minute. I might just have to go get the Sawzall and just cut it off. So let's get this. Okay, we got another wall done. So this is kind of neat. I think this was a doorbell. So it's like so sturdy. Like maybe I could put that outside the front door. That would be pretty awesome. So I'll be saving that guy right there. Okay. Oh. Okay, and the last big major push. And then we can clean it all out and see what we're dealing with. Man, I just cleaned this out the other day. One step forward, two steps back. I'm gonna go get the Sawzall. We're gonna make quick work out of this wall right here. Okay. Good grief. So it has to look way worse before it looks way better. So, and that's where we're at right now. The only word for this is like aftermath. So, yeah, I need a break. Okay, 1 eternity later and 10 gallons of sweat later, and I've got most of it off. So this one board is stressing me out a little bit because I can't pry on it. I'm gonna see if I can get a sawzall blade in there to sever those nails, because they carved it out, and if I start prying on it, I don't want it to crack here because I want to patch that in. So yeah, let's see if we can get it done. Okay, so here's the cutout on the rail, and this angle is a flat surface, and then this one's a flat surface. If I get a chisel and just clean up this here, I might be able to trace a pattern and plug that in and then round it off and contour it to match. So that's the idea. So doable for a beginner. That'd be probably a project you could be pretty proud of if you could accomplish that. So I'm going to set that goal for myself and see how it goes. So okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna take a quick break while the air clears in there. My mask is so dirty that I need to go get another one, I think. So, oh my gosh, so that's a sense of accomplishment, but it's also a reminder of how much farther I have to go. And as a matter of fact, I have my own character flaws like anybody. And one thing that I've always struggled with is that I'm kind of overly optimistic, and I have big ideas, and I don't have a lot of examples that I can point to where I stuck something out and did it to the very end. So yeah, that's hard in relationships too, you know, when you're always like, oh, we could do this or we could do that, and the people around you are like, yeah. And so in less than a year, or actually just a little over a year, I'll be 50 years old. And I don't want that to be my story. So, yeah, I wanted to, you know, pick a dream and accomplish it. And unfortunately, I picked the mother of all of them. And I'm trying to rewrite my story and have this like one wonderful success that I can point to that I went to war for. And yeah, and the thing about this project is that there is only one mode that you can be in, and that is relentless. Like, you can work day in and day out for months and months, and you can give yourself a pat on the back, but that's all you get, because there's a whole bunch more to do. So so whenever I get these little accomplishments done, it feels really great, because I am in the process of rewriting my story and working on my own personal development. Man, sorry, the camera's shaking. Whew. My arm got tired, so I'm gonna put my arm on my elbow there. But yeah, so I'm rewriting my story, and it feels really great to make those gradual baby steps and see the fruit of work. So for you guys, I don't know how amazing it's going to look, because if you haven't been to the channel before, you might be thinking, what is this guy talking about? He cleaned out a hallway. But it represents like 2 days work, and yeah, so let's go check it out. All right, come on. I wish I had a wider angle lens so you could get the whole perspective here, but I think I'm just gonna have to walk around and keep pointing the camera. So here we go. So this was actually all done in one day, but I broke it up into 2 parts, and this is what we started with. So this is a project that I've been wanting to do for a long time because it was like right in the front entrance and there was no way to get through, and you know, I was depressed every time I walked by it. So I had to get it done, and this is what we have ended up with. And this is as far back as I can get the camera. So I've got the original brickwork and the gigantic windows are, I actually uncovered those windows a little bit earlier, but it is part of the transformation here. And yeah, so there's still a lot of work to be done, but slowly but surely she's getting her character back. And I'm a big fan of keeping things kind of original, but with all of this peeling paint and stuff, I think this old girl needs some TLC. So I'm going to paint these walls, and I'll pick a nice industrial color. I might even go with this exact same colors, we'll see. Though this isn't the original color that this room had when the building was first built, because you can see this is what color it was right here, where this whole bulletin board was. So, and there's spray paint on the walls and all kinds of stuff. So the only thing that I haven't done is this little patch here and right here. And the reason I left that is because I have all of my security cameras wired up through and secured there, and I'm not ready to rewire that yet. That's a whole project in itself. So that little bit, please try to ignore. So, but moving through here, this stairway is open now, which is amazing. So, yeah, here's a cool old sign, "Don't run." And there used to be some legs running down steps there, but sadly it's peeling. But so what do we find? We found a window. There's an old hanging industrial lamp that one of those Benjamin shades goes on. I mentioned a little bit earlier. And then here's another one that is so 1930s. Would have hung right just above this bulletin board area here. So I think I'm gonna use that, or not that exact one, but I'm gonna do the same thing, and then another one right here on the other side. So that'll look amazing, and I think I'll put pictures of the people that worked in the factory over the whole century, actually. So, okay. There you have it. And yeah, feels really good. So, all right, thanks guys. I really appreciate it, and come back and see me. More projects to come.